G'day, and welcome to Pints with Aquinas, I guess that's the name of it. My name is Matt Fradd. I hope you're doing well. I have been pounding espresso all morning. I had a good friend, Jacob Imam, who works with the guys at New Polity here in Steubenville. We've had him on the show before. Used to be a Muslim. I don't know why I'm talking so much about Jacob, but there you are. Bit about Jacob. Anyway, we were up to midnight talking about economics and distributism, so we might have to have him on the show to discuss that at a later date. How do I get in the middle? Well, that feels better. Bit in the middle. G'day, guys. How are you? It's nice to have you here. Thank you for being here. Just yesterday, here you go. Let me show you the thing. Let me show you the bloody thing. Boom. You see that? Do you see that? I was a bit disappointed that it's not real silver. But yeah, for those of you who aren't aware, I guess once you reach different milestones, YouTube sends you different things. So I passed 100,000 subscribers a little while ago, and they sent me this. It came in yesterday in the mail. I had my daughter take a little video of me opening it. Let me show you what that looks like. Are we done? Is it working? Okay. I just received this from YouTube, which is better than a cancellation. That'll be next time, but right now, ready? Focus on that, lovey. Look at that. Oh, that's cool, huh?
Yeah, good job.
Presented to Pints with Aquinas.
Ow.
For passing 100,000 subscribers. That's pretty cool, huh? Anyway, so that was that. That's what happened yesterday, and that was really cool. And yeah, a couple of things to say here, before we maybe share some tips and helpful advice on you if you feel like you should start a YouTube channel or if you want to know how to grow it. I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but I've been doing this for a while, and I think the more excellent Catholic, or just maybe you're not a Catholic but a Christian YouTube channels there are, the better. So anyway, so yeah, it was good. It was good to get this. When I first hit 100,000 subscribers, there was a part of me that wanted to downplay it and think that maybe that's kind of like the Christian thing to do. Like, oh come on, like at the end of the day, these are just bloody numbers. But I don't know if that's the right approach. Like I had been working hard on Pints with Aquinas for a while, and so I was really happy when I hit that milestone. I went out and had a cigar, sort of to celebrate. So I'm really grateful, primarily to you and my patrons. Like, I don't think YouTube is terribly interested in me. I mean, except that I help make them money because of the ads that play at the beginning. I don't mean to be super cynical, but I was invited by a group at Google a couple of years ago. And I arrived in California and then got a call from someone at Google, and they told me that I'd been banned from speaking. And they said I was an Islamophobe and a homophobe, neither of which are true. If you want to see that video and you want to see the official response Google gave to me, click the link in the description below. I've got a link to that video if you want the whole story there. But so because of that, and because of different YouTube channels being canceled and demonetized, once I hit 100,000 subscribers, I thought, okay, this is nice, but I don't think they're going to send me one of these things. They said, you have to meet all the guidelines and things like that. So it's kind of cool that they sent it to me. But honestly, I'm more grateful for you and my patrons for making this happen. Pints with Aquinas started back prior to... Wow! Before you would have ever guessed that Donald Trump would run for president, I started Pints with Aquinas. It was originally just an audio show, and then gradually over the last, so I'd say 2 years, I've been kind of working on stuff and on YouTube. So there you go. But hey, check this little note out. They sent me this note, and I actually don't know if it makes sense, and I want to show you, and you tell me, because I actually might just be misunderstanding it. What does this mean? Do you know what this means? It doesn't say Matt at the top. It doesn't say Dear YouTuber. It just says some 100,000 subscribers. What the hell does that mean? I actually don't know, and I've got to think to myself that it's more likely that I would misunderstand this then Google would screw this up. So do you know what that means? Just how far have you come? ? If each of your subscribers were a light year, they could take you from one side of the Milky Way to the other. That's awesome. I mean, I guess it's just a long way. That's far. Okay, good. Thanks for telling me. And it's why today we're so excited to celebrate your special YouTube journey with you. I know I'm reading this with a bit of a sarcastic drawl, but Here we go. In that spirit, YouTube is proud to present you with a Silver Creator Award, which celebrates your hard work and incredible achievement. Yada, yada. Now, honestly, what does that mean? Can somebody tell me what that means? Some 100,000 subscribers. Did they screw that up? Or am I just not understanding it? I don't know. I'm just going to drink more coffee. All right, so here's what I want to do. I had a few things I wanted to say, and then I'd love to take some of your questions, especially for those of you who are considering starting a YouTube channel. First thing was that, I am honored. I really am. It's huge. I think we get around 2,000 subscribers a week. We just, so we're past 110,000 subscribers. So that's absolutely amazing. It's a real honor, and I really sense it's a great responsibility, and I know I always haven't lived up to what I want to do, and I'm really trying to. So big thanks to you, and especially to my patrons who really made this happen. Okay, so let me suggest some things, because I know there's YouTube's kind of a big deal now, and a lot of people want to start a YouTube channel. They have YouTube channels. Here's just a few bits of advice that I've thought about that I think would be helpful to you if you're thinking of starting a YouTube channel. The first is that you should be yourself, and I know that's such a cliche, but let me finish. Be yourself and talk about what you're interested in. If you try to appeal to everybody, you'll end up appealing to no one. If you try to appeal to everybody, you'll end up like hotel lobby art. Totally inoffensive and uninteresting. And so I think the temptation can be, I want to reach the most people, but I think it's kind of helpful just to kind of talk about the things you want to talk about because they excite you, and that's bound to excite some other people. I don't know, maybe I'm not supposed to have 150,000 subscribers, and that would be awesome. It doesn't matter. Second thing I would say is you should run a YouTube channel because it's worth running, not because you could make money or want to have a lot of subscribers, because it honestly does take a lot of work and a lot of effort. I would imagine that most people who start a YouTube, channel probably don't last long. They probably post several videos and then just stop. And one of the ways to kind of make sure that doesn't happen to you is to actually address the things that you're interested in, because you want to talk about them. And that's definitely been true of me. If I was just running this YouTube channel so I could get more subscribers or add money or something like that, it wouldn't be enough. I'd just be bored and I would lose interest. So I think that's the other thing. Don't ask what do people want to hear about. Ask what am I super passionate about, and then talk about that thing. I think that would be another piece of advice that I would have. Since you didn't ask, I thought I would give you some advice. Here's something that I think we should do, and this is something I want to get better at doing, and that is point people to what they should be paying attention to, not what they are or want to be paying attention to. All right? Point people to what they should be paying attention to, not what they are paying attention to or what they want to, sort of pay attention to. And I certainly haven't done this all the time. It is easy to get caught up in topics of the day. And when you address those topics that are hot, you get a lot of views. But I don't want it to be about that. And if you're a new YouTuber, you shouldn't want it to be about that either. I made this joke recently that if you want a lot of YouTube followers, here's what you could do. You could start a YouTube account of you getting kicked in the testicles at different locations around the world. Here I am at the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Whack! Here I am at the Eiffel Tower. People would follow that. And you would be people would be super into that. But why? Why? There's a lot of ways to get attention, but it shouldn't just be about that, right? So for me, here's what I want it to be about. I really do want it to be about people coming to know and love Jesus Christ and the Catholic Church that he founded. I want to kind of present Thomas Aquinas's Bible studies. I want to present debates that we have on different topics of morality and belief systems and things like that. And I really want to stay committed to doing that. So let me offer you this, right? If you start to see me venturing into topics and you think, well, you're just doing that because it's hot right now, feel free to tell me in the YouTube comments, because I do appreciate it. So those would be a few things that I would say, all right? Not terribly brilliant, but what did you expect? So why don't we take some questions? But before we do that, and speaking of money, go check out my friends at Catholic Chemistry. There's a link in the description below. This is the best Catholic dating website out there. It's run by a friend of mine. His name's Chuck Gallucci. We used to work at Catholic Answers together. He had a dream of creating the best Catholic dating site imaginable, one where serious Catholics would show up. And it's really excellent. So click the link in the description and go over to Catholic Chemistry today. If you click that link, they'll know that I sent you, and they'll be super happy with me. So I like people being happy with me. All right, so let's take some questions here. Shian and Stories Michelle Marie, g'day, says, question, can you take us through your journey as you started until now? Wow, that's a long answer, so I'll try not to. I'll try not to be long. I started Pints with Aquinas back in 2000 and, I don't know, 15? No. When was it? It was about a year before Trump. See, I can't do math on the spot. So that's why I don't have a math channel. And I started it to get more credit for a master's course I was taking. I remember publishing like 10 episodes and didn't even promote it on YouTube. And then it started to take off, and that was really cool. And I ran into some problems with my employer at the time, about a year into doing these podcasts. And I had to make a decision. What if I quit and took Pints with Aquinas full time? And I said to my wife, if I do this, we'll be making about, well, to be honest with you, it was like about $40,000 a year with no health insurance if I quit my job and just did Pints, given how many patrons I had, and something else, I think, but with some speaking gigs as well. And she said, let's do it. And I went, okay. And so I remember if you scroll through the episodes, I quit my job and I went on Pints with Aquinas, and I said, now would be a really good time to support me. So that's that's how it started. And then I started doing in-person interviews on this thing called the Matt Fradd Show. I was trying to separate it from Pints with Aquinas. I don't know why. I think it was because I didn't want to deviate too much from Aquinas, and I wanted to have conversations about all sorts of things. It just became confusing to people and difficult to keep up with, so I decided to merge everything under Pints with Aquinas banner. Moved to Steubenville, built this beautiful studio, bought all this equipment. Well, my patrons bought all of this equipment that I'm still paying off, so seriously, go to patreon.com/mattfradd. And now we're going to do in-person interviews, and we're doing monthly debates and Bible studies and things like that. So that's the basic gist. John is starting Nut Kicking channel now. All right, all the best, John. I look forward to seeing you skyrocket ahead of me. Thea says, hi, Matt. I'm a Catholic student from England, and I started this channel in my spare time to spread devotion to Our Lady. Awesome. Good for you. Do you have any suggestions? God bless you. Yeah, so I think a few things to keep in mind is to try to be consistent with how much you post. I try to post every day. It's a difficult thing to do, but I do these interviews. I take clips out. I release them. I think, finding someone to help you with thumbnails is a really good idea. And maybe, asking our Blessed Mother to lead people to your channel. If people are open to interviewing you about your channel on their show, that'll help spread the word. Things like that, like cross promotion can be a really good thing. So there you are. While that's true, it does make sense to do some things to get your channel. Yeah, it's true. And you'll notice that, right? Like my thumbnails are pretty catchy. At least I try to make them catchy. Clickbait is where you have something terribly uninteresting or not at all together to do with the topic and image that just gets people in. But my understanding is that YouTube wants, number one, to see how quickly somebody clicks on your video from the time it shows up on your screen. Like that's one metric. And then the second metric is how long they actually watch your video for. So if you come up with a very, like let's say I came up with a thumbnail of me talking to Joe Biden about Catholicism, right? And I made it look like I chatted with Joe Biden about Catholicism, but I didn't really. You click that video and you soon realize that I didn't. You'd click out and get upset. And I think that's not good. You want people to click on your videos, but you want them to stick around as well. So, but that said, like I do try to come up with, the more interesting things that people might want to talk about from my interviews. So I think that can kind of help. Oh, thanks, man. That's awesome. Catholicism, good to see you. And thanks for getting my book, Sibling Horror. Has there been a time in your career that you just wanted to vanish? Yeah, totally. I hate people and I hate technology. So yes, frequently. How do you make time for the important things? All right, so I'm an old man. I'm becoming an old man. I hate technology. Like it's ironic. I get it, but I don't like it. My phone. All right, let me tell you what's on my phone. All right, I don't have Safari. I don't have any searching browser app. I don't have email. I don't even have a calendar. I have I have my messages. I have Audible. I have a map system, but that's it. So that's one of the ways I can stay like less attached. So, for example, last night I went home and I left my computer at the office, and I just got to read and chat with my friend Jacob, but there was nothing distracting me. It's not like and we don't have a TV at home, right? So it's not like I could have went, oh, I'm going to watch a show and just waste time. So that kind of helps me by doing that. You know what I mean? So yeah. What's a typical daily routine for me? Well, three of my kids go to a Montessori school in the morning. Other kid is homeschooled. So I wake up around 7, say a few prayers, get the kids ready for school, get them off to school. I'll either go to Holy Mass or I'll come straight to my studio and pray. I have an icon corner here in my office. And so I'll pray and then I'll pound a bunch of espresso and then get to work. I have an assistant who really helps me like stay on track with everything. Like she helps book my speaking engagements. She helps book the people who are coming on the show. And so her and I are kind of chatting back and forth. I'm a morning person. I am not a night person. Like I think I can crush a lot of work in the morning. Like, let me rephrase that. I think I can do more work from say like 6 to 10 than a lot of people could get done from 9 to 5. I'm just incredibly productive in the morning. So if I'm writing or if I'm doing any kind of deep work, I try to, that's where I do that. Because honestly, around 1 or 2, I start to fade and I find it really difficult. So I don't know if that helps. Let's see here. If you were not doing Pints with Aquinas, what ideally would you like to be doing? I don't have many skills. Like I'm not good at most things. So I don't know what I would do. Like, so when YouTube bans me, if that ever happened, I really don't know what I would do. I think, our kids are getting older, so maybe my wife would work. She's way more competent and awesome than me. And I would just stay home and read books and smoke cigars. Andrew, by the way, everybody, that you'll sometimes see the Pints with Aquinas logo come up on the screen. This dude is the one who created it. So thanks, Andrew. What have been some of your biggest doubts, low points, and how did you overcome them? Yeah, like I think some of my like doubts have been like my ability to like actually comprehend and communicate like big ideas. I'm not an intellectual, and when I've felt that temptation to pretend I'm one because I'm like, who the hell am I? Like that's been hard. But once I got over that and realized, look, I only know what I know, and I can only communicate what I can communicate, and may the Lord use it however he wants to, even if it's to 5 people, that was really freeing for me. Also some low points, there's been some interviews that got some real negative attention, and that was kind of hard. And I've gotten over that as well. It's funny, like if you go on YouTube, hey, you like that camera switch? Boom! If you go on YouTube, like you're going to get a ton of negative criticism. And I don't know why. I don't know why YouTube comment boxes lend themselves to that, but they seem to. And in the beginning, that really got me down. But I got over it actually really quick. In the beginning, like it crushed me. I remember being like, why are they also me? But I actually don't care anymore. I know that sounds like heartless, but when I see someone like ripping me apart, I just don't care. Like sometimes I'll read the comment and I'll appreciate the feedback because I think they're right. Sometimes I think they're wrong, and it doesn't bother me anymore, honestly. I don't know if that helps them. How do you come up with creative ideas without facing burnout? I mean, I've got Aquinas, right, who wrote everything ever. So I just like to chat what I'm interested in. And I think that is an important thing if you guys want to start a YouTube channel. And I know I've already said this, but just to address what you find interesting. And that way I just keep doing that, and that's not hard. Rob, I'm brand new to your channel, and I must say it's fantastic. I gave my life... Oh, glory to God. I gave my life to Jesus a year ago. Oh, glory to Jesus Christ. Rob, my brother, I love you, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy for you. I was an atheist for 44 years, but now I have seen the light. God bless you, Rob. It's an honor to have you here, my brother. And yeah, that's beautiful, man. Okay. Harrison Jones, was it difficult for you to put yourself out there as a sort of visible figure when you began speaking and podcasting? Is it awkward? I think what happens in the beginning is that you don't think that anyone would ever take you seriously. So, or at least I thought that. So in the beginning, it was just like, hey, can I come and speak? Like, would you mind if I did that? So I never thought that I would become in any way sort of a public figure. So was it difficult? It was only difficult when I realized it was happening. Does that make sense? Like I just considered myself like, not many people are paying attention, and all of a sudden they did, and then things like, Google, as I say, like banned me and put out that statement, and just that was weird when I realized that. And it's weird, like it's kind of weird walking around Steubenville and having every college student know who I am, especially if I'm like yelling at my kids or just want to go to sleep. But let's see. Glory to Jesus Christ. Let's see how, man, so many. Matt, an atheist friend asked me, who do we need salvation from? You need salvation from what your sins have caused, which is a separation from God. Well, it would have to be Capturing Christianity, my favorite YouTube channel, don't you think? That is very good, Cameron. Glory to Jesus Christ. Catherine says, I started a YouTube channel a little over a year ago, Catholic Mums, but I have to take some time off. I'd like to continue with it. Any tips on how to keep it going? Try to get as much help as you can. I mean, like, I am really, really, really good at delegating. That's one of the reasons, like, I'm so grateful for my patrons, because I have a marketing team. I have a social media team. I have an assistant. I have a video editor. I have somebody who comes in to do the video interviews, the video editing live, I have somebody who does the thumbnails. Like, I don't do a lot of stuff because I'm not good at a lot of stuff. And I know it's difficult if you don't have a budget, but as soon as I started making any kind of money, I was like, hey, could you do this for me? And it would just take those little things off my plate. So one of the reasons I'm able to pump out clips every day is I've got this video editor and marketing team working together now who I pay to do that. So they write the content and stuff like that. So that's nice. Do you miss being Eastern yet? I still go to an Eastern Catholic church. It's a Ukrainian Catholic church, about half hour. I've been doing that the last few weeks, and it's difficult to quit, man. Not homeschooling anymore. Our eldest is, the other three aren't. That's easy. Gospel simplicity. Just kidding. Love your channel. Declue's views, by the way. This guy, I'm not just saying this because he's here, and I want him to like me more, although that is part of it. I just burped in the microphone. That's not a great way to get more viewers. You should go subscribe to this guy. I don't know if he's put out any content lately, but he's a really thoughtful, reasonable, intelligent Catholic. So check him out. Jack Skian says, with as many theology podcasts and shows as there are, should prospective YouTubers look to fill a certain unique niche, or should you focus more on quality rather than originality? Yeah, it's a good question, right? Because, I mean, ideally, you would want to be interested in that thing that has not yet been filled. So I'm currently talking with a young woman who wants to start a YouTube channel for women struggling with pornography. And I'm like, what can I do to help you? Because this needs to happen. So in her case, she's addressing an issue that isn't being addressed, and it's her passion. I mean, that would be great. But I wouldn't say start talking about a thing just because there's a void there, if that's not your skill, if you don't know anything about that thing, you know what I mean? So I think first and foremost, it's like, what could you see yourself? What do you like to do? I think it really does come across when people enjoy doing what they do. Like, if I hated Thomas Aquinas, but I was just doing this because, like, people seem to like it, I think you'd be able to tell. So I would say find those things you're passionate about. And yeah, I think, like, for marketing purposes, try to find a different angle. That can definitely help. I don't know if that helps. What did you think of the Catholic versus Orthodox debate that I had on my channel? I thought both debaters did a great job. I need to go and listen to the debate, because when I'm in the debate, monitoring it, timing it, I can't really pay attention. But my understanding is both did really well. So I'll have to go back and listen to it. Let me take some questions from my patrons because I love them. I know I've showed you this before. I want to show you something, guys, really quick. Check this out. So, if you want to become a patron, you get this stein. How beautiful is that beer stein? So, you don't just become a patron out of charity. I give you a bunch of stuff in return. So, if you're considering, it would really help us out. Patreon.com/MattFrad. All right, let's see some Patreon questions here. Do you have any guidelines you recommend when approaching controversial topics? So I try, right? I'm not saying I succeed at this, but I try to teach what the Catholic Church teaches and not go beyond that. So I don't want to say you have to believe this, or you have to practice this devotion, or you have to do this. Like you have to go to daily mass. I don't want to say things that the church hasn't said. So I try to keep within that framework. I think there are some things that the church condemns, obviously. There are some things that the church permits. There are some things that the church encourages. And there are some things that the church mandates. So I want to make that clear if I'm talking about something. So if the church hasn't mandated that you say pray the rosary daily or go to mass daily, I'm not going to mandate that, or wear the brown scarf. I don't ever want to do that. I really want to teach what the Catholic Church teaches, and regardless of my personal preference or opinion about something. But it's, approaching controversial topics, I don't know, man. It's I really do try to be honest. I know that sometimes I've said stuff that's pissed people off on Facebook and things like that, especially of late. I would rather say things that are insensitive but are honest than not genuine because they placate people or something, But I don't know, man. You probably know more than me. Let's see. Man, so many questions here. Marcus James. Matt, thanks for being a patron, Marcus. Matt, you are one of my favorite YouTubers, due not only to the solid orthodoxy of your show, but the charitable way you interact with your guests and interlocutors. It is plain to see that you are a man of a rich interior life who is in love with the Lord. How do you avoid letting your success in Catholic content go to your head? What keeps you humble? All right, so this is a good question, and it's a good question because I don't consider myself humble. I actually think I'm probably arrogant and probably prideful. I'm not just saying that to sound humble. I actually do think I am, and it's so difficult, right? Because I don't know anybody who is arrogant who thinks themselves to be arrogant. Like if you knew someone who's really arrogant and you're like, do you think you're arrogant? I don't think they'd say yes. If they did, they might be humble. So how do you detect it in yourself? It's a really difficult thing. Having a family helps because they don't care, they don't care how many views or subscribers. I mean, they're happy for me, but you know what I mean? That helps. I don't know, solid spiritual direction, solid friends. But I pray that the good Lord would give me humility, and obviously. I mean, how do you know if someone's not humble? I don't know. It's kind of like an internal thing, isn't it? If somebody actually has I would love to hear from you here in the live chat. How do you know if someone isn't being humble? Because the other thing is, and this probably seems rude, sometimes I'll have people who email me or text me out of the blue because they want to chat. And I'm like, I don't have time. I don't have time. So I just don't respond to them. And it's not because I'm trying to be a jerk. It's just I can't respond to everyone who emails me. And I'm sure that seems like a jerkish, arrogant thing, but I don't really care because I have a family and a few friends that I need to spend time and invest with. Does that make sense? Probably just came off like an asshole. The fact that I care about coming off like an asshole is proof that I'm arrogant. Okay, next question from Harrison Jones. Thanks for the super chat. I'm planning to start a Pints with Chesterton podcast. Think I can get you on? It's possible. We'll see. See, did that come off as arrogant? Because I also get a lot of requests to be on YouTube shows, and I don't really want to. So it's hard to know when someone's being arrogant or something. If you guys have a thought on this, let me know. Humility is thinking less of yourself, is not thinking less of yourself, it's thinking about yourself less. I think that's harder. Yeah, amen. I think that's true. I think the times that I know I'm not doing well is the times that critical comments get to me. But the times they kind of roll off my back is the times that I'm like, okay, I'm good with the Lord. I'm in right relationship with him here, I think. I don't know. Humility blows the devil away, says Holy Cross Mission. Amen, brother. The problem is that it's hard to come up with a regimen. Like, how do you become humble? It's not like you can give somebody like, okay, do these 10 things and then you'll be humble. Because if I did those 10 things, I'd probably congratulate myself about how humble I am, and then I wouldn't be humble anymore. It's a really difficult thing to do. But I think this bloke knocked it out of the park when he said, just like not thinking too terribly much about yourself. I think when my sins overwhelm me, that's a sign that I'm falling into pride as well. But if I do something embarrassing or stupid or that I regret, and I just go, Lord, like I'm sorry, and I get over it quickly, I think that's probably a sign of humility as well. Beers with Bonaventure, Scotch with Scotus, wine with Wittgenstein. 2 on the nose. Thank you for the brilliant work you do. Thank you kindly. Okay, pop culture. How do you handle when other Catholic companies or brands reach out to you for sponsorship or are asking for you to create videos featuring them? Yeah, so people reach out and ask me if I can sponsor them, and I charge them a fee, obviously. I don't do it for charity. It's not why I'm talking about these things. I'm pretty open to kind of advertising anybody, but if somebody says that they're Catholic and then I see that they're promoting things that aren't Catholic, I stop. In the past, I'm not going to say anything more, but I have stopped advertising with those groups when I saw that had happened. Is that okay? Litany of Humility. Yep, amen. That's a great devotion. Andrew says, well, if humility is seeing things as they are, perhaps arrogance is seeing something in a self-aggrandizing way. Yeah, interesting. Matt, I'm new to the YouTube live stuff, and yesterday I had a super chat in the Father Pine Q&A that wasn't answered. I was under the impression they do get answered because that's what they are called. Okay, so please forgive Father Pine. He wasn't aware of that. He actually emailed me this morning to say, hey, what are super chats? Like, Father Pine doesn't. He's even cooler than me. You're really cool if you don't know what a super chat is. So he asked me about that, and I said to him, when someone's a super chatter, you got to give them preference and answer their question first. And he said, "Okay, didn't know that. Thanks so much." So I apologize that didn't get answered. Let's see. Cindy says this. I don't understand what that's in reference to. Soldier of Christ said, Pints with Aquinas, your channel will help me. Oh, good. Very, very much, bro, for coming out of Protestantism and studying Catholicism. That's awesome, man. Cool. Thomas says, what do you think about a talk with E. Michael Jones about porn? I don't know who that is. I'm sorry. So... Oh, I think I've heard of him. Patrick Coughlin, I think, may have interviewed him in the past. I don't know anything about him, so I'm not terribly interested in interviewing him because of that. Advice for someone struggling with keeping their Lenten promises. I find it easy to really beat myself up. Don't beat yourself up. Just decide if you want to keep doing it or not. Maybe you don't want to, so just don't do it. Or if you do, just do it. But I think saying it out loud, saying it to a friend, processing it with someone makes it concrete. Sometimes when we just kind of feel vaguely guilty or vaguely good about things or resolutions, it's difficult, How often do you do public speaking events? I used to do 9 days a month, and I'm trying to cut that back almost to nothing right now. But yeah. Ha 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 ha. What? I don't know what that's in reference to. Have you ever thought about doing a Judaism versus Christianity debate? What's your favorite book of the Bible? That would be awesome. I would like to do that. If you know a Jew who would like to debate, let me know. My favorite book in the Bible is Song of Songs. Clea says, congrats on the 100K, Matt. Been following you for years. Thank you so much. It's really nice of you. Matt, how much do you love dinosaurs? Not terribly. This is a really good question from Mere Christian, who, by the way, I've had on the channel. He was a Jehovah's Witness, and he converted, so good to have you here. Advice for perfectionism in making YouTube videos. So I would say, and you've heard this before, and it's difficult, but don't let the great be the enemy of the good. In other words, don't wait until you've got everything together so you can start the best YouTube channel with the best lighting and the best videos possible. Just start. I think that's okay. Yeah. I mean, you obviously want to create good content and good looking content, and so always trying to get better, I think, but would you be interested to see Father Casey? Would be interesting to see Father Casey. Okay. How do you deal with people being rude? I mean, I'm often rude, so I get it. So I know the times that I'm rude on social media, it's usually just me reacting to something. It's not like a fully thought out comment that I went, the world needs to hear this. It's usually just been anger or aggravation that's led me to post it. So when I see other people being rude, I just sort of suspect that that's also the case, and I don't worry terribly much. Have you ever... So here's an example, right? Andrew just said, due to debate, Ben Shapiro. It's like, here would be an example of a clickbait thumbnail for this video. Imagine if I had one with like, upcoming debate with Ben Shapiro, ? And it was just that comment. You'd be very angry. And that's why you shouldn't do clickbait YouTube titles and videos, even though I have done it in the past. This is fun, man. Are you listening to Father Mike Schmitz's Bible in a Year podcast? My wife and son are, but I am not. My day is going well. We're really getting to the bottom of the barrel here as far as questions, aren't we? How big is Dr. Han's library? Like, bigger than you think it is. Okay, I think maybe we're wrapping up here. Guys, this has been a pleasure. Oh no, we just got a super chat, so we've got to keep going. I post rude stuff during online arguments, then feel bad about that for the rest of the day. Dude, you're so fantastic. I love how honest that comment was. That was beautiful. Yeah, me too, sometimes. Let's see here. Thanks, Matt. My question to Father was about the Johannine comma. Yeah, I've only recently heard about it. Do you know anything about it? Not enough to talk about it, so I won't. Oh, here's something good to talk about. So John S. just said, when my priest gave a fantastic funeral sermon, I complimented him, his efforts, and he said, don't give any credit to me. The Holy Spirit was working through me. I appreciated that humility. See, I'm not impressed when people do that. It actually annoys me. I actually find that I think that could be a pride. I'm not saying your priest was prideful, but I think that could be a prideful comment. It's like, just accept the good that you had to do with that thing and shut up. Like, if someone's trying to compliment you, I think you should say, thank you so much. I don't like when I thank somebody and they're like, hey, it's all the Holy Spirit. It's like, well, no, it's not all the Holy Spirit, because you exist and you made actions and chose to study topics and chose to speak about things. So how about shut up? I know you're not God, but thank you. I don't know. See, am I being rude now? That's starting to get a little rude. Okay. Matt, hey, when I click your Patreon link in the description, it gives me a 404 error, but when I Google it, it works. See? Bugger. I'm so sorry. Patreon.com/MattFrad if you're interested. Favorite Australian YouTubers? I don't have any. Don't tend to watch them. Guys, I feel like I'm talking too long now. What books do you recommend on building a YouTube channel? If it's a book, it's probably out of date, so I just Google it. All right, my friends, thank you so much. I am going to change the link in the description to my Patreon account right now. If you want to give me $5 a month, $1 a month, or anything like that, let me know and I will... See, I want to quit. I want to quit this video, but people keep asking questions. Here we go. Because this is a Byzantine question. Thoughts on the prayer rule of the Theotokos as the Eastern Catholic Rosary? Yeah, it's great. What's his name? Saint Seraphim of Serov. Yeah, so in the East, the Hail Mary is something like, rejoice, full of grace, the Lord is with you. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb, for you have borne the Savior and Deliverer of our souls. So you just pray that like 150 times. Boom! So yeah, I'm a fan. Oh, who's that? Someone's calling. I'm going to decline them. I gotta go. Here, oh, that's nice. Here's money because great channel. Thanks, dude. Okay, this is a good question. Hey, Matt, how do you get off the ground with no subscribers when you start? Seems to be the toughest part. Yeah, I agree. So I suppose I would say is like whatever social media you have, use that to leverage the YouTube channel you currently have, like by posting on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and all these sorts of things. And then I would just come up with intriguing titles and thumbnails to the best of your ability. And eventually you'll start to see people searching for those items and finding you and subscribing. Telling people to subscribe on all of your videos, like now, subscribe to Pints with Aquinas is probably a good idea, you know? All right, my friends, got to go because I want to. Bye.